Hello and welcome back. So here you can see us travelling along the tracks on the area that has just been altered. And you might ask yourself why. Well, I wanted to put a halt in just for playability, and I thought I'd put it in a certain area. So let's see how we changed. So we went from this, which looked pretty good, to this, the station halt, and then realised we'd made a mistake and ended up here. Of course, part 2 will actually show where the station halt is. All change on Dow Junction to add a station halt, part 1, on the no-name railway. And we'll start by seeing how it happened. So this is the area that I decided I'd like a station halt, right where the signal box and the plate layers hut was. Here you see a view with all the trees removed, which was the first thing to do. Then the removal of the plate layers hut, followed by the removal of the signal box, and finally the hill on the opposite side as where the other halt platform would go, ensuring that we saved as much material as possible for reuse. Pathway installed up to the village, a base for the halt placed, and now we put some plasticard in to represent the surface, and yes, there, a collision. The point crossing, the train swings out and hits. So yeah, you guessed, we need to move it. Quick check there, it's not long enough now, so we need to move down. Quick hoover, keep the place tidy, and now we need somewhere for the signal box. So yes, more material removed. This time we're going this way. A dig here, a dig there, and it all comes out. Hoover again. These balls of polystyrene get everywhere, so it's best to keep the place tidy. With the area now defined where the signal box is going, I can now fit the retaining wall. So with it marked, we can start installing the wall. Super glue on and hold it in position. Quick apply of activator, and now we can put all the infill in at the back to build up the surface again to allow us to achieve the landform that we're looking for. So building up the landform, we're installing rocks, and once I'm happy with them, we can start to put the filler in. A mixture here, pre-coloured, of polyfiller, and we need to put the edging now on the wall. So a quick run of super glue along here. The coping stones are pre-made. It's a piece of channel bar that's been grooves filed in it to represent the stonework. Again, we use the activator, and the buttresses are placed, and we can now finish off the final amount of filler to blend the landscape into the rock formation. Here you see me starting to make the top surface of the whole platform. With the top surface cut and the edging cut, I can now fit the retaining wall of the halt to the edging. Make sure it's right. Fit the second piece to get the length. Quick check. Yes, happy with it. With it all assembled, I can now look at placing the top surface on. Again, super glue for speed is used here. A little bit of manoeuvring to get it in position, and finally clamp it. And here we see the finished product. It's had a first coat of spray paint to colour the stonework. We use some Grab It here to bond it in. Make sure it's right. And we've got a template. This gives us the distance, so we know that the carriages, after the last mistake of it colliding at this point, we double check that it will go through. Carriage goes through, and now we'll check that the engine will pass without any problems. Quick flick at the points here for the straight through run, and yes, we're happy with that. And the carriage, yep, we're more than happy. So here you can see that I'm taking the wall down, and you might ask why. Well, for a station halt, it really needs to have a little bit more of a village in place. So I decided to add another building. So using a building that I had, I marked it and cut the building in half to give me a low relief building. Here you see it in position. And there's a road pathway going off where my fingers have just been. It does look rather a big gap, but I decided that I'd put a tree in here to act as a scenic break, so to speak, so that you had to look round rather than, and by looking around at a different angle, it doesn't look quite as wide. So happy with the new area, it was time to concentrate on the halt. First job, put the fencing up around the halt and the pathway up to Dow Village. Yes, we'll have a quick look at the signal box now it's been installed and in place. We've installed the point rodding as well, plate layers huts there, and we now even have a lamp hut. So this is where I discovered I wasn't happy. Looking back at the old videos, I noticed where the engine was, and it wasn't going to work. The carriage would be at the halt, but the engine would be crossing the points, especially at the junction point. And the signals, well, nobody really knew where they should be. So, yes, you guessed it, it was time to dismantle it all. A rethink. I must enjoy building scenery because this is not the first time I've done that. And it was well bonded in. It took some getting out. So what to do here? Well, I decided that we'd make a retaining wall and we'd utilise the walling that had been used as the platform. We'd cut it back, the scenic a bit more, and this would allow me to fit the retaining wall in. It is quite messy again. Mark it, clean it, check it, and install the landfill yet again. Make sure that we cover all this white up and make sure that there isn't a flat piece to this, that it blends in on a slope to the retaining wall. And we grassed it. And you think, hang on, you've done something different. Yes, there was a bit done for the signal. And here you see me marking on a piece of tracing paper the diagram of the base of the signal for cutting, which is supplied with the dipole signals. They do suggest you cut it out, but I didn't really want to ruin the paperwork, so I decided a template would be more than ample enough. It gives me the sizes that I need, allowing me to check out that I'm fitting it in the right position. I'm applying the template in the recess, and I mark the centre. You can just about see the hole there, yes. And with a 16mm drill, we cut it, the hole, and a hoover up. Yes, you noticed that I did touch the brickwork. Because it's so far away from the power supply, I had to extend the cables. Once I'd soldered them together, I put some shrink wrap on them to stop any shorting. And obviously the switches for the said signals also needed to be extended, and again soldered the two with shrink wrap on to prevent any shorting. And the next scene you'll see is me actually installing the switches into the fascia of the baseboard, and a quick test. Yes, they do work, so I'm happy. All I need to do now is blend it in. So that's part one. If you like it, please subscribe, it's free. And if you hit the bell icon, you will be getting notifications of future videos. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope to see you on the next one. Goodbye.